Same old, same old, same old.
Deadzone Rogue is a roguelite FPS that doesn't wait around to show you what it's about. From the second you drop into its moody sci-fi corridors, it's clear. This is about movement, gunplay, and stacking chaos until the screen melts under your damage numbers. The premise is simple: clear rooms, get loot, and survive as long as you can aboard a derelict spaceship crawling with mechanical nightmares and armed goons. But what makes Deadzone Rogue stand out isn't just the vibe or visuals, it's the way builds spiral out of control. If you like watching your character evolve from a guy with a pistol to a lightning god with wall hacks, this game is going to hit that dopamine switch hard. I played it months ago, but I had to come back. Because since then, it's had a bunch of updates, a new progression system, room clearing rewards, and, yep, co-op. Though let's be real, I went solo again because that's where the chaos really shines. First, the core gameplay loop. Every room is a self-contained arena. You start invisible, letting you scope things out before making a move. It's tactical, but not slow. You pick your entry point, then it's go time, headshots, grenades, dodge rolls, the works. Enemies drop gear, and when you clear a room, you get to pick a reward. Maybe a stronger weapon, maybe a passive buff like extra crit chance or elemental effects. Every choice stacks, and the game leans hard into build variety. The combat is punchy, with some surprising depth. Grenades don't lob, they shoot straight like rockets, making them feel precise and deadly. You can dash, crouch, or melee in a pinch, though the real power's in your gun and the synergies you build. Some enemies have shields, some swarm you with melee, some hang back and spam grenades. Others just exist to be annoying turret batteries. But as your build ramps up, the tables turn fast. That's where Deadzone Rogue gets fun. The early game is survival. The mid-game is domination. And by late game, if you've built right, it's bullying. There's also a meta progression layer that gives the whole loop more staying power. You collect tech as a currency, and between runs, you can invest in permanent upgrades, more health, faster cooldowns, better shield recovery. It's not overbearing, and it doesn't feel like a grind. It's just enough to make each run a bit smoother, a bit more tailored to your style. Shops show up in safe rooms, giving you a chance to upgrade weapons, buy new gear, or fine-tune your stats. You'll constantly be weighing whether to hold your money for a better drop or dump it all into upgrading armor so you don't fold in the next boss room. And yes, there are bosses. The way the game escalates is solid. It doesn't just throw more enemies at you, it throws harder decisions. The UI could still use a bit more clarity. For example, some stats like total crit chance, elemental modifiers, or what exactly plasma orbs do could be better explained. But in the middle of a run, you rarely care. You're too busy destroying in a room full of robots and watching your shield recharge while everything explodes. Performance-wise, the game's in great shape. The visuals are dark but readable, with just enough sci-fi grime to feel lived in without being muddy. Gun animations and reloads have weight. And the sound design? It sells the chaos, especially when your crits are popping off like fireworks. As for the co-op, yeah, it's in there. I didn't test it this time because I didn't want anything messing with my solo flow. In terms of difficulty, it's manageable early on, but the further you go, the more important build synergy becomes. You can brute force your way through a few rooms, sure, but if you're not stacking damage types, balancing armor with regen, or adapting your loadout to the enemies ahead, it'll catch up to you, and fast. What Deadzone Rogue nails is the feel of progression. You don't just get stronger, you get smarter. You notice when an augment triggers. You start planning grenade kills to chain new grenades. You build around reload speed, elemental combos, or marking enemies to boost DPS. It's the kind of game where a run can turn on a single pickup. And that kind of tension is what keeps roguelikes addictive. Whether you're into high-powered shooting, creative builds, or just love that feeling of barely surviving a room full of chaos, there's something here for you. It's fast, it's brutal, it's layered. And if you're the type of player who chases mastery, adapts on the fly, and loves experimenting with builds, Deadzone Rogue gives you room to play your way, then dares you to go harder.
Just gonna take a breather here. Let's take a look. Maybe I'll just take a break here.